Hello all. We are dealing with Unit 6 of our syllabus, multiple integrals and their applications. In today's lecture, which is lecture number 4, we are dealing with triple integration. Before we go for our content of today's lecture, I request all of you to like, share and subscribe our mathematics channel named as Maths Mania PCCOE. So students, content for today's lecture is triple integration and corresponding problems. So before we go for our actual syllabus of triple integration, I want you to understand some prerequisites for triple integration only. So in that, first we will discuss about Cartesian coordinate system. Look at this figure. The black point spotted here, P, whose coordinates are x comma y comma z. So x is the distance of point Px from origin, y is the distance of point Py from origin, and z is the distance of point Pz from the origin. So P corresponds to the coordinates x comma y comma z. Further, I would like to explain you the limits of these three variables x, y and z. X is varying from minus infinity to infinity, y is varying from minus infinity to infinity, and z is also varying from minus infinity to infinity. So this is our coordinate system. Nextly, we are going to deal with spherical polar system. So try to understand this system properly. See the figure. यहाँ पर हमने फिर से x, y and z axis कंसीडर किया है. Now this point P, O and M we have considered in terms of triangle, right angle at M. From P we are considering the foot perpendicular on xy plane, which is M, and now we are trying to identify the distance OP. If you have considered over here, this distance OP is nothing but R, distance of point P from origin. Then theta we have considered as the inclination of OP with positive z axis, and phi is the inclination of OM with positive x axis. So this phi will vary from 0 to 2 pi as it comes from 0 to 360 degrees angle with x axis. Phi is varying from 0 to pi as a पॉजिटिव z एक्सिस के करस्पॉन्डिंग अगर हमें इंक्लिनेशन देखना है तो वो ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा 0 से लेके पाई तक होगा, एंड r will vary from 0 to infinity. So to convert any Cartesian coordinate system in three-dimensional space to spherical polar system, we have to use some transformations like x is equal to r sin theta cos phi, y is equal to r sin theta sin phi, z is equal to r cos theta, and as I explained you, limits of r, theta and phi for this system can be given as r is varying from 0 to infinity, theta is less than or equal to pi, and 0 is less than or equal to theta. Phi is varying from 0 to 2 pi. So this is our coordinate, rather this is spherical polar system, and which is very helpful to solve. So nextly we are going to deal with third type of system, which is a cylindrical polar system. Look at this figure. Here once again we are considering x axis, y axis and z axis, and again point P we considered in positive octant. So for point P, once again few things we are going to determine. Point P, which is having distance z from foot perpendicular M, so PM is equal to z. Then from origin we are drawing the line towards m, so OM will be having length rho, say, and OM again having the inclination from positive x-axis, let us say phi. So this phi will vary from 0 to 2 pi, rho will vary from 0 to infinity as it is distance from origin of foot perpendicular from any point P in the three-dimensional space, and Z is the distance of that point P from the foot perpendicular. So this distance can vary from minus infinity to plus infinity. So this is our cylindrical polar system. So from Cartesian system to convert in terms of cylindrical polar system, we need to use the transformation x is equal to rho cos of phi, y is equal to rho sin of phi, and z is equal to z. So with this transformation, Cartesian system can be converted easily to cylindrical polar system, and hence instead of limits of x, y and z, here we can use the limits of rho, phi and z as follows. So rho is varying from 0 to infinity, phi is varying from 0 to 2 pi, and z is varying from minus infinity to plus infinity. So this is our cylindrical polar system. Now let us try to understand the triple integration. Let the function f of x comma y comma z be a function of three variables x, y, z, be continuous and defined at every point of a finitely closed three-dimensional region, say V. मीन्स हम थ्री डायमेंशनल स्पेस में कोई सॉलिड सरफेस कंसिडर कर रहे हैं जिसके ऊपर हमें ये ट्रिपल इंटीग्रेशन कैरी करना है, एंड दिस फंक्शन इज कंटिन्यूअस एंड डिफाइंड एट एवरी पॉइंट. Dividing this volume V in elementary subregions of volume dV1, dV2, dV3 and so on dVn. Then we can write down the sum Sn of this function over this elementary subregions as f1 of x1 by 1 z1 into dv1 plus f2 f of x2 y2 z2 into dv2 plus and so on plus f of xn yn zn into dvn. So this is equal to summation of k is equal to 1 to n f of xk yk zk dot dvk. So this sum we are going to get, with this sum we are going to get the integration. Thus limit of this sum when n tends to infinity and the dimension of each subregions dvk tends to 0 is introduced as triple integration of function over region V. Therefore, triple integration can be determined as limit as n tends to infinity, summation which is varying from k is equal to 1 to n f of xk yk zk dot dvk. So this is equal to triple integration over that volume of f of xyz into dv. Now that dv is the elementary volume we have considered, so that distributed in terms of dx, dy and dz. So triple integration can be written as triple integration over volume f of x comma y comma z into dx, dy, dz. So this is our notation of triple integration. Hence the triple integration is extension of double integration, which is given by I is equal to triple integration over V f of x comma y comma z into dx, dy, dz. Now for example I have considered over here the order of integration. Now obviously as you have learned in double integration how should be the order of integration of given integral to be carried out, or how to change the order of the integration also. Now here I have considered a specific order for this given integration. So first of all, let us try to understand this inner bracket. After carrying out this integration, as limits are functions of x as well as y, that means these should be limits of z. So after carrying out this integration, we should get purely a function of x as well as y. Secondly, the outer integration with respect to dy must be carried out, and this integration is having limits f1 of x to f2 of x, which certainly should be limits of y. So secondly, we have to carry out the integration with respect to y, which must be purely function of x. And lastly, we have to carry out the outermost integration with respect to x, which will be certainly a value. So this is one type of order we have considered. Likewise, there are 6 types of order of integration for triple integration, but above order of integration is generally used. Now in above integration, we have considered inner integration first with respect to z, then with respect to y, and later on with respect to x. So z, y and x, this is our order of integration in above example. Triple integration is used to find volume of surface in 3-dimensional space if f of x comma y comma z is equal to 1. Similarly, we can find out mass of solids also, center of gravity and moment of inertia also of some solids, and triple integration can also define volume of function f of x comma y comma z in 4-dimensional space. Though it's cannot be visible, we can consider f of x comma y comma z with this function. Triple integration gives us volume under this function in 4-dimensional space. Now here we are going to see few usual notations once again. One of the usual notation I already explained you, which is this one, where our triple integration is integration from a to b, integration from f1x to f2 of x, integration from phi1 xy to phi2 of xy, f of x comma y comma z, dx dy dz. Now in first integration, limits is not given properly, but we can rearrange it based on our limits. Now as per limits are concerned, phi1 and phi2 are functions of x and y, means that should be function limits of z. Secondly, f1 and f2 are functions of x, that certainly means these two are limits of y. And we have noted limits of z, limits of y, then it's remaining about the limits of x. So further remaining limits a to b are the limits of x, and hence our order of integration can be written as inner integration carried out with respect to z. So I'll read out the inner integration. This is inner integration z from phi1 to phi2 f of x comma y comma z into dz. This must be purely function of x comma y. Then let us carry out the integration with respect to dy, integration f1 to f2, whatever integrand we are getting, into dy, and lastly we have to carry out the third integration. X is varying from a to b, whatever integrand further we will obtain with respect to dx. So this is our usual notation. The next notation we are going to see is the spherical polar coordinates. We have already seen one notation to put down triple integration in Cartesian system. Now with spherical polar system and cylindrical polar system, we'll try to understand what must be the transformations and what different types of solids we can use to find out their limits and hence their use in problems. So for spherical polar coordinates, our transformations must be x is equal to r sine theta cos phi, y is equal to r sine theta sine phi, z is equal to r cos theta, and hence with respect to this transformation, x square plus y square plus z square will become r square. You can try to resolve this particular simplification, and therefore dx into dy into dz is given by r square into sine theta into dr d theta d phi. Here I take one more prerequisite. If you could remember from partial differentiation, our x is here is function of three variables r, theta and phi. Similarly, y is a function of r, theta and phi, and z I can treat as function of r, theta and phi. So if we are having three variables in terms of other three variables, we can define here Jacobian, and by using Jacobian, dx into dy into dz can be determined, which is equal to r square sine theta dr d theta d phi. So this particular simplification we can use to convert Cartesian triple integration to spherical polar triple integration. So with the help of this transformation, our integration, which is initially noted in terms of Cartesian form, now can be written as triple integration over the volume f of r comma theta comma phi into r square sine theta into dr d theta d phi. So this is spherical polar coordinates, and hence the conversion in terms of triple integration. So we will move further. Let me give you standard limits here. So consider one complete sphere whose equation is given by x square plus y square plus z square is equal to a square. Now this particular equation of sphere is a standard sphere which is centered at origin 0, 0, 0 and having radius a. So this is our finite solid having certain radius. So limits of this complete sphere we can give as theta is equal to 0 to pi, phi is equal to 0 to 2 pi, and r is equal to 0 to a. Now I'll just revise quickly here. Spherical polar coordinates, what we have seen a little earlier, in that theta we have considered as inclination of OP. Now from origin, any point of P on sphere if we have considered, so this OP is having certain inclination with positive z-axis. So this inclination maximum will vary from 0 to pi. So hence theta will carry the limits 0 to pi. Phi, which is having limits 0 to 2 pi, is nothing but inclination of OM, where M is the foot perpendicular from any point of P of sphere on xy plane. So origin to M, if we have drawn one line, so that OM is having inclination with positive x-axis will vary from 0 to 2 pi, and R, which is radius of our sphere, with transformation also it will vary from 0 to a. So by using spherical polar coordinates, we can obtain limits for complete sphere with centered as 0, 0, 0 and radius as a. So this is our spherical polar conversion for complete sphere. Coming to next, for hemisphere, we are going to consider once again the same equation of sphere x square plus y square plus z square is equal to a square, but the condition on z is it's greater than or equal to 0. Now what this means, this is a hemisphere. So if you could look at the second figure here out of this three, so this is a hemisphere. This is like a rubber ball if we cut from the center, so that gives us the hemisphere. So for hemisphere, limits of theta, phi and r will vary in this way. Now phi will vary from 0 to pi by 2, as the rest of hemisphere we are cutting down. Theta, which is inclination of OP with positive x-axis, drop down to 0 to pi by 2. Phi will vary from 0 to 2 pi, as still the hemisphere is having base as xy plane. So inclination of OM about the positive x-axis still remains same, 0 to 2 pi. And radius will vary from 0 to a. Though it is a hemisphere, radius will not alter. So these are the limits of hemisphere. Again, we'll break down the hemisphere into 4 parts, and let us consider a positive octant of a sphere. So यहाँ पर एक थर्ड फिगर हमारे पास है जिसका एक पार्ट कट किया गया है. So that is our octant. So for octant we are having limits are theta is equal to 0 to pi by 2. Phi will be 0 to pi by 2, because from hemisphere we are cutting the 3 parts, and for remaining 1 part we are finding out the phi. So phi will vary from 0 to pi by 2, and r will vary from 0 to a. So for sphere, hemisphere and for positive octant we have determined the limits. Now let us go for the further example of complete ellipsoid. Ellipsoid whose equation is x square by a square plus y square by b square plus z square by c square is equal to 1. If you could imagine a rugby ball to understand the ellipsoid. Here I am drawing one figure also. So this is our ellipsoid. You can consider a watermelon too to consider the ellipsoid. So for complete ellipsoid, what will be our limits? That we are going to find out. But before that, spherical polar coordinates with a little difference we have to put down in this way. X is equal to a r sin theta into cos phi, y is equal to b r into sin theta sin phi, and z is equal to c r cos of theta. So with respect to these transformations, our dx, dy, dz now becomes a into b into c into r square sin theta dr d theta d phi. Once again, using Jacobian only, these dx, dy, dz, this product is determined. So with the help of this transformation, our integration can be determined in terms of triple integration. F is varying from r theta phi into a into b into c into r square sin theta dr d theta and d phi. And here limits of phi are from 0 to 2 pi, limits of theta will vary from 0 to pi, and limit of r here will vary from 0 to 1. As this ellipsoid, while using this transformation, will get converted to sphere whose center is at origin and having radius 1. So these are our limits for ellipsoid also. To move further, now let us see the cylindrical polar coordinates. As we have already seen cylindrical polar system, in similar way the transformations here we need to use r. X is equal to rho cos phi, y is equal to rho sin phi, and z is equal to z. So hence with this transformation, x square plus y square will become rho square, and hence once again with the help of Jacobian, as x is function of rho cos phi and z also we can consider putting z raised to 0 here. Y is a function of z raised to 0 rho sin phi, means function of rho phi and z is function of rho phi and z. So all these three variables x, y, z are functions of rho phi and z. By using Jacobian, dx into dy into dz can be determined as rho into d rho into d phi into dz. So with the help of these cylindrical polar coordinates, our triple integration can be written in terms of triple integration over volume f of rho phi z into d rho d phi rho d rho into d phi into dz. So few standard examples of cylinder and cone here we'll consider. Now first example for cylinder. Suppose this is our equation of cylinder, x square plus y square is equal to a square, comma z equal to 0, comma z equal to h. Let us try to understand this figure. Now this figure we have considered as of right circular cylinder whose axis is about z axis. अगर हमें ये सिलेंडर y एज अ एक्सिस के फॉर्म में दी होती या फिर x एज अ एक्सिस के फॉर्म में दी होती तो भी हम सिमिलर वे में रिप्रेजेंटेशन कर पाते. सो एक्स स्क्वायर प्लस वाई स्क्वायर इज इक्वल टू ए स्क्वायर, कॉमा जेड इक्वल टू 0, कॉमा जेड इक्वल टू एच. सो दिस इज अवर सिलेंडर एंड करस्पॉन्डिंग सिलेंडर के लिए आप यहाँ पर देख सकते हो ओ इज़ द ओरिजिन. सो सिलेंडर को हमने अगर प्रोजेक्शन लिया सिलेंडर का एक्स वाई प्लेन पर तो नीचे हमें सर्कल मिलने वाला है. एंड इफ़ वी ट्राई टू फिगर इट आउट, ओ एम दिस रिप्रेजेंट्स अवर रो, ओ एम का इंक्लिनेशन फ्रॉम एक्स एक्सिस दिस रिप्रेजेंट्स फाई, and z is varying from z is equal to 0 to z is equal to h. So hence limits of cylinder can be noted in terms of rho is varying from 0 to a, phi is varying from 0 to 2 pi, and z is varying from 0 to h. So if we have given volume in this way, we can use the cylindrical polar coordinates. Moving next, for cone, which is represented in terms of this equation, x square plus y square is equal to z square, comma z greater than 0 and z is equal to 0 to z is equal to a. Let us figure out this. So look at this figure. यहाँ पर भी हमारा जो ये कोन है उस ये राइट सर्कुलर कोन है जिसका एक्सिस वंस अगेन वी कैन से इज z एक्सिस. सिमिलर टाइप में हम y एक्सिस को कोन का एक्सिस मान के भी ड्रॉ कर सकते हैं एंड x एक्सिस also can be treated as axis for some right circular cone. So in that case our equations will be different obviously. So for the given equation, if we are observing our x square plus y square is equal to, for z is equal to 0, it's a point circle at origin, and as z is varying from 0 to a, our circles or cone will be increasing manner. And for this particular equation, if we have considered the projection from upper side on xy plane, so that is obviously we are going to give us the circle. Now once again m as the point if we have considered and कोन के किसी भी पॉइंट से हमने यहाँ पर परपेंडिकुलर डाला तो ओ एम का डिस्टेंस जो हमारा होगा वो रो होगा. अगेन ओ एम का इंक्लिनेशन विथ पॉजिटिव एक्स एक्सिस रिप्रेजेंट्स फाई एंड जेड हियर इज वैरिंग फ्रॉम स्क्वायर रूट ऑफ एक्स स्क्वायर प्लस वाई स्क्वायर विच इज नथिंग बट रो टू z is equal to 1. So these are our limits which can be written in this way. Rho is varying from 0 to a for this cone, phi is varying from 0 to 2 pi, and z is varying from rho to a. So these are our cylindrical polar coordinates and some standard limits. With the help of all of these usual notations, spherical polar coordinates and cylindrical polar coordinates as well as the Cartesian coordinates, with the help of all of this we can solve few problems of triple integration. Up till now we have studied what is triple integration, what are the different systems used over here, Cartesian system, spherical polar system, cylindrical polar system, the usual notations for all of these three also. Now moving on to the problems on triple integration. These problems are mainly divided into following types, out of which first is problems on direct evaluation of triple integration, where limits are already given, just we have to find out the order of integration here and we have to evaluate it. Second, problems on triple integration, where the limits are not provided but with the help of Cartesian coordinates with the help of spherical polar coordinates and with the help of cylindrical polar coordinates, we can identify limits for triple integration over the given volume, and hence we can evaluate it. And third category is problems of triple integration based on Dirichlet's theorem. So including all of these three categories, few problems here further we are going to elaborate. Let us start now the type 1 of problem based on the direct evaluation. First problem in that, evaluate triple integration of e raised to power x plus y plus z with given limits into dx, dy, dz. Now, given integration with proper order can be written as, carefully observe this particular step, students, because this is quite important to understand how we should choose order of integration in this particular type where limits are already given. So given integration can be written with this order. Now let us try to understand that. We are having inner limits as 0 to x plus y. Though the lower limit is 0, which is a constant, upper limit is function of x as well as y. So that must be limit of z. So z is varying from 0 to x plus y. And as this particular integration gives us function of x and y, this should be the first term which we have to integrate. So inner integration here I have written with respect to z. Then the second limits are 0 to x. So though the lower limit is 0, upper limit is x, that means it should be limit of y. So second integration here we have considered with respect to dy. And third limit is constant 0 to log of 2. Now as we already chosen the first two terms of order of integration, first with respect to z, secondly with respect to y, therefore the remaining limits must be the limits of x, and hence we have to integrate further with respect to x. So our given integration is written in this way. Integration x is varying from 0 to log 2, then integration y is varying from 0 to x, then integration z is varying from x plus 0 to x plus y of e raised to power x plus y plus z, first with respect to z, then with respect to y, and then with respect to x. So with this order of integration, let us simplify the problem further. Now the inner integration with respect to z gives us e raised to power x plus y, we can separate out. This is like e raised to power a plus b plus c. So e raised to power a plus b we separated, e raised to power c का इंटीग्रेशन हम यहाँ पर ले रहे हैं. So e raised to power z का इंटीग्रेशन रहेगा e raised to power z, which is varying from 0 to x plus y into dy into dx as it is. So inner integration we have simplified here. Let us proceed further with next step. Integration 0 to log 2, integration 0 to x. Now inner term is simplified. E raised to power x plus y is constant. Applying lower and upper limit to this square bracket, inner square bracket, we will get e raised to power x plus y minus e raised to power 0 into dy into dx as it is. Moving further, now e raised to power x plus y के मल्टीप्लिकेशन के साथ हमें ये स्क्वायर ब्रैकेट मिलती है. इंटीग्रेशन 0 to log 2, integration 0 to x. The square bracket now gives us e raised to power twice of x plus y minus e raised to power x plus y into dy into dx. Now this is double integration. Now in double integration, further we have to integrate first with respect to y, then with respect to x. Now let us continue integrating with respect to y here. Integration 0 to log 2, integration y is equal to 0 to x. I have simplified that square bracket integrand as e raised to power 2x e raised to power 2y minus e raised to power x into e raised to power y with respect to dy and finally with respect to x. Now integration of with respect to y of first term of square bracket e raised to power 2x is constant with respect to y. So e raised to power 2y का इंटीग्रेशन है e raised to power 2y upon 2 varying from 0 to x minus e raised to power x as it is e raised to power y का इंटीग्रेशन है e raised to power y varying from 0 to x, and then with respect to dx we have to integrate. So this integration now will simplify in next step. Integration 0 to log 2. So that bracket with substitution of limits is now written as e raised to power 2x e raised to power 2x upon 2 in square bracket minus e raised to power 0 upon 2 minus e raised to power x was constant. Substituting upper and lower limit, this becomes e raised to power x minus e raised to power 0 with respect to dx. And finally this curly bracket is simplified in terms of e raised to power 4x upon 2 minus e raised to power 2x upon 2 minus e raised to power 2x plus e raised to power x into dx. Now this integrand we have to integrate with respect to x where limits are 0 to log 2. Further, taking the integration e raised to power 4x upon 8 minus e raised to power 2x upon 4 minus e raised to power 2x upon 2 plus e raised to power x, this entire limit integration will vary from the limits 0 is equal 0 to log of 2. So we continue solving further. So by substituting upper and lower limit we will get e raised to power 4 log 2 upon 8 minus e raised to power 2 log 2 upon 4 minus e raised to power 2 log 2 upon 2 plus e raised to power log 2. Now these are the substitutions by upper limit minus lower limit ka minus sign, and substituting lower limits now it's e raised to power 0 upon 8 minus e raised to power 0 upon 4 minus e raised to power 0 upon 2 plus e raised to power 0. So by substitution of upper and lower limit, the further simplification we can do as 16 by 8 minus 4 by 4 minus 4 by 2 plus 2 minus 1 upon 8 minus 1 by 4 minus 1 by 2 plus 1. So this simplification we can write down as 1 minus 3 by 8 which is equal to 5 by 8. So this is our evaluation of the given triple integration. So that completes our problem. Now I request all of you to carry one pen and notebook with you, because further problems you can solve at your own. Just I am going to give you the problem statement, a hint regarding the same, how to choose the order of the integration, and finally the answer. So let us continue with the problem of this type only. So this is our problem 2. Evaluate triple integration over x dx dy dz where limits are 0 to 1, y square to 1 and 0 to 1 minus x. Now with the hint I am going to give you as this one, integration order can be written as. Now you can guess easily and stop this video here and try to write down the order of integration at your own. If it's not possible for you, get back and try to understand the order of integration. So here I am giving you the order of integration as this one. Now let us understand why this order we have chosen. Now our order of integration is starting from the rightmost side to leftmost side. So first we are going to integrate with respect to z, then with respect to x, and then with respect to y. So why so? Let us understand. Now here with respect to z, as we are integrating, limits are 0 to 1 minus x. But as here we don't have y also and z also, it might possible these are the limits of z as well as y. Secondly, for the second term integration with respect to x, limits are y square and 1. So these can be limits of x as well as z. So once we decide these two order of integration, third order eventually comes further. So let us try to understand first of all. So if for right hand side integration with respect to z, instead of z, if we have chosen the integration with respect to y, what will happen? Let us understand. So अगर ये rightmost integration with respect to y हम लेते हैं, then to find out the further integration, this middle integration with respect to x जो हमने लिखा है, उसके लिए हमारे पास possibility है x as well as z. So if we are carrying out with respect to y, then I am going to get here the function of x, correct? Then if here I am going to integrate with respect to y, with respect to z instead of with respect to x, then here I am going to get the function of y, right? So for first integration itself we have chosen the order instead of z as y. हमें यहाँ पर y ऑलरेडी यूज कर चुके हैं, तो यहाँ पर जो हमें सेकंड इंटीग्रेशन में y आने वाला है, that will remain as it is, because if the order we have chosen is y first, then z second time, the remaining integration we have to carry out with respect to x. Obviously y coming out of this second integration will remain as it is and we will not get the evaluation. Hence the order we have to choose is this particular right hand side integration must be evaluated with respect to z first, then with respect to x, and finally with respect to y. If you understood this integration properly, try to evaluate that. Further, I am going to give you the answer for the same. So as I repeat once again, once we decide order of first two integrals, then third can be easily determined, as I told you. So here I am going to give you the answer 4/35, evaluation of this particular triple integration. So in this way, few more problems you can solve of this particular type.
Okay students, we will go for the further problem now. Problem number 3. Evaluate integration 0 to 2a, integration 0 to x, integration y to x, x y z into dx dy dz. Now for this particular problem, it's very easy to identify the order of the integration. So I'm going to give you hint for the same. So as inner integration we are having as integration y to x with the limits y to x, and as limits are functions of x as well as y, these limits must be function limits of z. So we have to integrate inner integration with respect to z. So see this order of integration. Inner integration we are carrying out with respect to z. Then second integration has the limits 0 to x. So as limits are functions of x, the integration must be with respect to y, and the outer integration is integration 0 to 2a. So obviously that will be limits of x. So we have to carry out the integration with respect to x. So answer is coming out to be 4/3. So for this integral, it's very easy to understand the limits. So order of integration can be easily determined. Solve this problem and check out whether you are going to get the answer as 4/3 or not. Then let us go for problem number 4. Evaluate integration 1 to 2, integration 2 to 3, integration 0 to 3, x square y cube z into dz dy dx. So for this particular integration where integrand is in separable form and limits are given as constant, how to decide the order of integration? This is very important thing. So try to understand this with this particular hint I am going to give you. So observe here the inner integral. Inner integral is integration from 0 to 3 and it is with respect to z first. So inner integration we are carrying out with the help of with respect to z. So this is your order of integration. So inner integration 0 to 3 with respect to z. Then the middle integration 2 to 3 with respect to y, and then the outer integration 1 to 2 with respect to x. So with the given order of integration, for integration right to left and for differential term from left to right, we are using to choose our order of integration. So in general you can remember that as integration we have to choose from inner integral to outer integral. So this is our order of integration. Now evaluate your triple integration here, and your answer should come out to be 1365 divided by 8. Try out this problem and check out whether you are going to get this answer or not.
Now I am going to elaborate the last problem of this type, where limits have given and we have to evaluate the triple integration. So this is our problem number 5. Evaluate integration 0 to 1, integration 0 to square root of 1 minus x square, integration 0 to square root of 1 minus x square minus y square of 1 upon square root of 1 minus x square minus y square minus z square into dx dy dz. So this triple integration we have to evaluate little carefully, as order of integration is very clear here. The right hand side limit of the integration sign are 0 to square root of 1 minus x square minus y square. So as limits are functions of x as well as y, these limits must be limits of z. In second integration sign, middle integration, limits are 0 to square root of 1 minus x square. As limits are functions of x, that must be limits of y. And finally the limit 0 to 1, these are limits of dx. So as we have given here, order we have to choose from right to left once again. So first we are integrating with respect to z, then with respect to y, and finally with respect to x. So our hint is this one only. So integration of order is obviously can be written in this way. So first we have to integrate with respect to z, the inner integration, then with respect to y, and finally with respect to x. One more hint I can give here. Substitute 1 minus x square minus y square is equal to m square. So इनर इंटीग्रेशन में ये जो अंडर रूट में पूरी एक बिग टर्म आपको दिख रही है 1 माइनस एक्स स्क्वायर माइनस वाई स्क्वायर, this particular term I can substitute as m square. So it's a constant substitution. With respect to this substitution, no variable and limits will change. So only constant substitution we are making, and after integration we have to resubstitute it back. Alright, so let us try to solve this problem carefully and try to evaluate the answer. I'm going to give you answer once again here. The answer is pi square by 8. So evaluate that. So as I have suggested you to put a constant substitution for this innermost integration. After integrating that, for next term you have to use the formulas of integration you already learned. So carefully do that and try to get your answer. So here we are completing our type 1, where direct evaluation you have to do and limits of integrations are already given. Okay students, now we are going to deal with the next type of problems, type 2 problems when limits are not provided. Now let us try to deal with the problems of this type. But before we go further, I would like to suggest you to revise formulas of beta function and gamma function also to evaluate the triple integration under this section, as you did in double integration also. So first problem, integrate triple integration x square dx dy dz throughout the volume bounded by planes x is equal to 0, y equal to 0, z equal to 0 and x by a plus y by a plus z by c is equal to 1. So if you are understanding, x is equal to z 0 is yz plane, y equal to 0 is xz plane and z is equal to 0 is xy plane. So these three planes we are considering, and their intersection with this another plane we have to consider. So x by a plus y by b plus z by c is equal to 1. This is the intercept form of the plane, intersecting x axis, y axis and z axis in some points. Now this is nothing but the tetrahedron. Now let us try to solve this problem. So before we start the solution, this particular tetrahedron we can solve with this x, y, z variables also, but here I am substituting x is equal to ay, y is equal to bv and z is equal to cw, just for simplifying the calculation. With the xyz also you can continue. So as we substituted these variables, the derivatives dx is equal to a times du, dy is equal to b times dv and dz is equal to c times dw we can write down. So along with this substitution we are going to get tetrahedron which is defined by the given equations in this way. So x axis will convert to y axis, u axis, and y axis will convert to v axis and z axis will convert to w axis, and this is our plane ABC which is having intercept with u, v and w respectively. So our equations now can be written in terms of u is equal to 0, v is equal to 0, w is equal to 0 and u plus v plus w is equal to 1. So along with these equations, this tetrahedron is formed, which is shown in the figure. So with the help of this substitution, our integral transform to I is equal to a square, because x square we are having, substituting au and uska square, so a square as a constant we can take outside. U triple integration u square ABC comes out with the substitution of dx, dy, dz as du, dv and dw. ABC constant into du, dv and dw. When the volume is bounded by, as I told you, with the substitution हमारा जो given tetrahedron है in terms of x, y, z हम u, v, w के फॉर्म में कन्वर्ट कर रहे हैं. So u equal to 0, v equal to 0, w is equal to 0 and u plus v plus w is equal to 1. So for this tetrahedron we are going to integrate first with respect to w. So अगर w के with respect to हमें integrate करना है तो w is equal to 0, that means u v plane, this is the baseline of this tetrahedron till w varies with 1 minus u minus v. So इस इक्वेशन के साथ हमें w के लिमिट्स मिलते हैं जो हम लिख सकते हैं. So as w के लिमिट्स हमें u and v के फॉर्म में मिल रहा है, we have to integrate this integration with respect to w first. Getting my point? So integration can be written in this way. So try to observe this inner integration. We are integrating with respect to w. Now outer integration के लिए, now as we have integrated this with the w, then this particular part is covering my vertical direction of this tetrahedron. So if we are integrating vertically, this particular tetrahedron will project on uv plane in terms of certain triangle. Now that triangle is lying on uv plane, so w here in this equation we have to put as 0. So हमें ये equation मिल जाएगा u plus v is equal to 1. So now v is equal to 0 and यहाँ से v की वैल्यू हमें मिल जाएगी 1 minus u. So v की वैल्यू u के फंक्शंस के फॉर्म में है, तो हमें सेकंड टाइम इंटीग्रेट करना पड़ेगा विथ रिस्पेक्ट टू v. So the curly bracket includes the integration with respect to dv, and finally integrating with respect to u. So limits we have to consider here from 0 to 1. So once again, if we have considered the limits of v as 0 to 1 minus u from this equation, substitute v is equal to 0 here, so u will become 1. So u की limits हमारी 0 to 1 आ जाएगी. So with respect to all of these integrations, now our triple integration is written in this way. So this is a cube b c, taking all constant outside, integration u from 0 to 1, inner integration v from 0 to 1 minus u, and further inner integration from w to w is equal to 0 to 1 minus u minus v into dw, then with respect to dv, and then with respect to u square du. So this integration further written as a cube bc as a constant as it is, integration with respect to limits 0 to 1, integration 0 to 1 minus u, dw का इंटीग्रेशन है w varying from 0 to 1 minus u minus v into dv and u square du as it is. So इनर इंटीग्रेशन हमने यहाँ पर लिमिट सब्सटीट्यूट करके सिंप्लीफाई किया है नेक्स्ट स्टेप में. सो अब हमें इंटीग्रेट करना है विथ रिस्पेक्ट टू v 1 minus u minus v को. So integrating that further we will get. Now we will continue with our solution. So with respect to dv जो इंटीग्रेशन लेना है वो आ जाएगा v minus uv minus v square by 2 varying from 0 to 1 minus u. The rest of terms of integrations are as it is. So substituting upper and lower limits over here, we get a cube bc integration 0 to 1 1 minus u times 1 minus u minus 1 minus u square upon 2 into u square du. Simplifying this, we will get a cube bc integration 0 to 1 1 minus 2u plus u square upon 2 into u square du. Now the numerator is a square of 1 minus u. So 1 upon 2 as a constant will take aside outside of the integration, and further the integration can be written as integration 0 to 1 1 minus u bracket square into u square into du. But this integration is in terms of beta function. Standard formula of beta function is variable raised to n minus 1 1 minus variable raised to m minus 1 into du. So this particular beta function where limits are 0 to 1 can be written in terms of a cube bc upon 2, which is a constant term. So this integration which is in terms of beta function can be written as beta function of 3 comma 3, and now this can be evaluated as in terms of gamma function. We can substitute using the relationship between beta and gamma function. We can simplify this further. A cube bc upon 2 gamma function of 3 into gamma function of 3 upon gamma function of 3 plus 3, that is 6. Evaluate that. Gamma function of 3 is 2 factorial and gamma function of 6 is 5 factorial. So our answer comes out to be a cube bc upon 2 into 2 factorial upon 5 factorial is equal to 4a cube bc upon 240. Therefore final answer evaluation we will get as a cube bc upon 60. So this is our answer of tetrahedron problem. Now under this type 2, let us go for the next problem. Problem 2. Evaluate triple integration over volume dx dy dz upon x square plus y square plus z square raised to 3 by 2, where v is the annulus between the sphere x square plus y square plus z square is equal to a square and x square plus y square plus z square is equal to b square, where a is greater than b is greater than 0. So both are positive, a and b, but the relation we have to maintain is b is less than a. So if you are understanding these two spheres, यहाँ पर दो अलग अलग रेडियस के स्पीयर्स के बीच का एनुलस पार्ट हमें कंसिडर करना है फॉर द इंटीग्रेशन. So this annulus part is everywhere in all 8 octants of the 3-dimensional space. So considering this, we will continue. As this problem, in this problem, v volume is annulus between two spheres, then it will be convenient for us to use the spherical coordinates. So substitute x is equal to r sin theta cos theta, y is equal to r sin theta sin phi, and z is equal to r cos theta. So these are the spherical coordinates. We have priorly discussed about the same. So with respect to these coordinates, dx dy dz will get as r square sin theta dr into d theta into d phi. So with respect to this substitution, now v becomes annulus between two spheres, r is equal to a and r is equal to b. See the figure. So यहाँ पर अगर आप ऑब्जर्व कर रहे हो तो सेंटर C ये हमारा दोनों भी स्फीयर का सेंटर है, एंड फ्रॉम दैट दिस रेडियस A or segment CA is having the length A. So this is a radius A of first sphere, and inner sphere जो है उसकी radius है B. So इन दोनों के बीच का पार्ट, तो दिस इज शेडेड एरिया वी हैव टू कंसिडर. शेडेड एरिया के लिए हमारी R जो है वैरी हो रही है, रेडियस जो वैरी हो रही है वो B से लेके A तक वैरी हो रही है. सो रिमेंबर दैट पार्ट फॉर द लिमिट्स ऑफ R, दैट इज आवर रेडियस. Continuing this problem further, limits we can take down as theta is varying from 0 to pi, as annulus is everywhere in all 8 octants, theta will be definitely varying from 0 to pi. Phi is varying from 0 to 2 pi, as complete annulus we are taking, and R we already discussed, it's varying from B to A. So our given integration can be now converted to integration phi is equal to 0 to 2 pi, integration theta is equal to 0 to pi, integration R is equal to B to A 1 upon R square raised to 3 by 2 into R square sin theta dr d theta d phi. So this particular integration, triple integration, now we have to carry out. Now you can observe here integrands are separable and limits are constant. So we can separate out the integrations here in this way. So first bracket integration phi from 0 to 2 pi into d phi, second bracket integration 0 to pi sin theta d theta, and third bracket integration B to A 1 upon R dr. So first इंटीग्रेशन का इवैल्यूएशन है phi वैरिंग फ्रॉम 0 to 2 pi, सेकंड ब्रैकेट के इंटीग्रेशन का इवैल्यूएशन है माइनस कॉस थीटा साइन थीटा का इंटीग्रेशन वैरिंग फ्रॉम 0 to pi, थर्ड ब्रैकेट का इंटीग्रेशन है log r वैरिंग फ्रॉम B to A. Substituting upper and lower limits in this, we'll get the simplification as appearing on the screen, and simplify that further. First bracket is 2 pi, second bracket after evaluation 2, and third bracket after evaluation of log, it's log of A by B. So our final answer here we are getting as 4 pi into log A by B. So if you are observing, after conversion into spherical polar coordinates, triple integration becomes quite simple, and we can immediately answer it out. So whenever possible, try to simplify your triple integration in terms of spherical polar integration if limits are not provided. Well students, now we'll move to problem number 3. Evaluate triple integration over V square root of x square plus y square into dx dy dz over V volume as x square plus y square is equal to z square, comma z greater than 0 and z is varying from 0 to 1. So solution goes like this. X square plus y square is equal to z square is a right circular cone. If you have completed your studies of sphere, cone and cylinder, you can easily understand the equation of cone here. So whenever equation of cone and equation of cylinder as a volume you have given, you can transform Cartesian triple integration to cylindrical polar coordinates. So substitution goes like this. X is equal to rho cos phi, y equal to rho sin phi, z is equal to z, x square plus y square is equal to rho square, and dx dy dz is equal to rho d rho into d phi dz. This is already explained in earlier slides. So check out this figure. At z is equal to 0 means your xy plane, we are having part of cone on xy plane as a point circle, that is at origin. As your z goes on increasing from 0 to 1, z is equal to 1 is the plane parallel to xy plane, and our circles right from the point circle till that plane goes on increasing with different radius if you observe this x square plus y square is equal to z square. So that gives rise to the right circular cone here. So limits over here we can put as rho will vary from 0 to 1, phi will vary from 0 to 2 pi. So if you are taking the projection of this circle or cone on xy plane, you are going to get as a circle. So for any part of this cone whose projection we are taking, phi will vary from 0 to 2 pi and rho will vary from 0 to 1, and z, if you are observing here, this is the straight line given, z is equal to square root of x square plus y square, that is z is equal to rho, will vary from rho to z is equal to 1. So till plane z equal to 1 हमारा z vary हो रहा है. So from rho to 1, these are our limits of z. Therefore the integration is written as triple integration over v square root of z, x square plus y square dx dy dz now can be written in terms of rho phi dz as triple integration over v square root of rho square rho d phi dz. So that integration, if you are observing once again, is in separable form. So I have separated the limits and hence the integrations also. So first bracket का integration हम as it is put करते हैं, right? क्योंकि यहाँ पर थर्ड ब्रैकेट में हमारा जो इंटीग्रेशन है वो विथ रिस्पेक्ट टू डी जेड है, लेकिन z की जो लिमिट्स है वो रो के फॉर्म में है. सो आई एम गोइंग टू गेट अ फंक्शन ऑफ रो फ्रॉम दिस थर्ड ब्रैकेट. So I will keep this first bracket as it is. I will not integrate it in this step. So second bracket का integration है phi varying from 0 to 2 pi. Third bracket का integration है z varying from rho to 1. So as we are having here limits as in variable form, so you can integrate first with respect to z, then with respect to rho, and then with respect to phi also. So this order of integration also you can carry out. नाउ मूविंग फर्दर, मिडल टर्म जो फाई है हमारी उसका अपर एंड लोअर सब्सटीट्यूशन लोअर लिमिट के साथ सिंप्लीफिकेशन हमें मिलता है 2 पाई. थर्ड ब्रैकेट का सब्सटीट्यूशन अपर एंड लोअर लिमिट के साथ करके हमें मिलता है 1 माइनस रो. सो 2 पाई इज अ कांस्टेंट टर्म, वी कैन टेक आउटसाइड ऑफ द इंटीग्रेशन, एंड 1 माइनस रो के साथ रो स्क्वायर को मल्टीप्लाई करके हमें मिलता है रो स्क्वायर माइनस रो क्यूब. उसका इंटीग्रेशन विथ रिस्पेक्टिव डी रो we will get as rho cube upon 3 minus rho raised to 4 upon 4 varying from 0 to 1. So substitute the upper and lower limits, we will get this is 2 pi into 1 minus 3 minus 1 by 4 which is equal to 2 pi into 1 by 12, that is pi by 6. So हमारे problem का evaluation हमें finally मिल गया pi by 6. So here we completed all 3 types of problems, one on Cartesian coordinate system, second on spherical coordinate system, and third on cylindrical polar coordinate system. So try to solve such problems from the assignments which we are going to give you. Okay. Well students, now we'll move towards the next type, type 3, which is Dirichlet theorem. And Dirichlet theorem here I am stating without proof, based on which few problems we are going to simplify. So theorem states that for two variables, double integration x raised to m minus 1 y raised to n minus 1 into dx dy, we can evaluate this double integration directly in terms of gamma function of m into gamma function of n upon gamma function of 1 plus m plus n if x plus y is less than or equal to 1. X plus y should be less than or equal to 1, then only this particular integration or its evaluation we can note down. For 3 variable, triple integration x raised to l minus 1, y raised to m minus 1 and z raised to n minus 1 into dx dy dz. This triple integration we can evaluate directly in terms of gamma functions as gamma function of L into gamma function of M into gamma function of N upon gamma function of 1 plus L plus M plus N, where x plus y plus z is less than or equal to 1. So this condition is very essential. Also the integrand, whatever format of integrand we are having, that is also essential. So if these two conditions are satisfied, then evaluation of triple integration or double integration we can note down in terms of gamma function directly. So this is our Dirichlet theorem, which is without proof we are using in problem solution. One particular case of this Dirichlet theorem I am explaining here. again the same type of integrand you are having, but the evaluation will be added with h raised to m plus n if it is two variable, and h raised to l plus m plus n is added if it is of three variables, or triple integration, provided that x plus y is less than or equal to h for double integration, and x plus y plus z less than or equal to h for triple integration. So this Dirichlet theorem we are using to solve problems. Now let us solve problems on Dirichlet theorem. Problem 1. Evaluate triple integration x square y z into dx dy dz throughout the volume bounded by the plane x equal to 0, y equal to 0, z equal to 0, and x upon a plus y upon b plus z upon c is equal to 1. So this particular volume bounded by all of these four planes represents tetrahedron. One such problem earlier we have completed, and this problem also you can solve with that method also. So here we are using Dirichlet theorem to solve this problem. So the solution goes like this. So our given integration is this one, where integrands are in separable form and is of the type x raised to l minus 1, y raised to m minus 1, and z raised to n minus 1. So we can think about Dirichlet theorem here. So this is one criteria you can identify to apply on problem to solve that problem by Dirichlet theorem. So substitute x is equal to au, dx is equal to a into du, y is equal to bv, and dy is equal to b into dv. Similarly, substitute z is equal to cw and dz is equal to c into dw. Now why this substitution we are making? As we are using here the Dirichlet theorem and integrand is in standard format. Now though the integrand is in standard format, here the variables we are having is in terms of x by a plus y by b plus z by c is equal to 1. So we'll try to convert that variables which are in fraction form in terms of the variable form. Say u plus v plus w is equal to 1. So to meet with the condition of Dirichlet theorem, we are doing this substitution. So what happens with this substitution? Let us try to understand. Now our integrand will become like this. Triple integration a square u square, for x square we are replacing that, y we are replacing with bv, z we are replacing with cw, and dx dy dz, this product will be replaced by a into b into c into du dv dw. Along with this integrand and integration, a cube b square c square, taking all constants outside, triple integration u square v into w into du dv dw, where u plus v plus w is less than or equal to 1 we can consider. Now as this is the tetrahedron, x upon a plus y by b plus z by c is equal to 1 is the front surface of this tetrahedron, and the entire terms lying under that, entire values of the variable lying under that. So this particular surface, front surface, now converted to u plus v plus w less than or equal to 1. So all the values of u, v and w are lying under that. So we can consider this u plus v plus w less than or equal to 1. So further this is evaluated as a cube b square c square triple integration u raised to 3 minus 1. So we have to write down the power of u in terms of l minus 1. Then v raised to 2 minus 1, w raised to n minus 1 into du dv dw. Now both of the conditions of Dirichlet theorem are meeting over here. So we can apply Dirichlet theorem directly to evaluate this. So using Dirichlet theorem, the evaluation can be written as a cube b square c square into gamma function of 3, l की वैल्यू यहाँ पर 3 है, gamma function of 2, m की वैल्यू यहाँ पर 2 है, and gamma function of 2 यहाँ पर n की वैल्यू भी 2 है, upon gamma function of 1 plus 3 plus 2 plus 2 and hence this gamma function further evaluated as a cube b square c square 2 factorial into 1 factorial into 1 factorial upon 7 factorial. So evaluation we can write down as a cube b square c square upon 2520. So in this way Dirichlet theorem can be applied to solve the problem. Well students, now we are going to conclude this session with one more problem which can be solved by Dirichlet theorem and one more type. So problem 2, evaluate triple integration over v x square y square plus y square z square plus z square x square into dx dy dz throughout the volume bounded by the sphere x square plus y square plus z square is equal to a square. So I'm going to explain you two methods over here. Apparently this problem, if you are looking further, we have to find out the evaluation of integration over the volume of the sphere. So we may think that the problem can be solved with the spherical polar coordinates. Yes, it can be solvable with spherical polar coordinates. And now think about whether it can be solvable by Dirichlet theorem or not. Now see the integrand x square into y square plus y square into z square plus x square into z square. It's not in the exact form of integrand which is required for Dirichlet theorem, but it can be converted over here. How? Let us see further. So first of all, based on the spherical polar coordinates, method 1 I am going to explain you. So very usual substitution we are going to do, which is x is equal to r sin theta cos phi, y is equal to r sin theta sin phi, and z is equal to r cos theta. So corresponding simplification and limits we can substitute in this way: theta varying from 0 to pi, phi varying from 0 to 2 pi, and r is varying from 0 to a, as the integration we have to carry out throughout the volume of sphere. So this will be our limits. With the help of this limits and substitution, integration can be written in this way: integration phi is varying from 0 to 2 pi, integration theta is varying from 0 to pi, integration r is varying from 0 to a. So the integrand now can be written as r raised to 4 sin raised to 4 theta sin square phi cos square phi plus r raised to 4 into sin square theta cos square theta into sin square phi plus r raised to 4 into sin square theta cos square theta into cos square phi. So this term is multiplied by r square into sin theta into dr d theta d phi. So try to evaluate this integration corresponding to the limits we noted. Limits are constant, limits can be varied over this bracket. So यहाँ पर हमें 3 ट्रिपल इंटीग्रेशन मिलते हैं जिनको हमें फर्दर इवैल्यूएट करना है. So this is our method 1. Method 2 is based on Dirichlet theorem, and for evaluation we are going to substitute here this substitution: x square upon a square is equal to u. ये x square upon a square कहाँ से आ गया? See the equation of the sphere. अगर मैंने a square से थ्रू आउट द साइड डिवाइड किया तो x square by a square प्लस y square by a square प्लस z square by a square ऐसी टर्म हमें मिलती है which is equal to 1. So here we are substituting x square by a square is equal to u. Hence dx we will get as a by 2 into u raised to half into u raised to minus half into du. Similarly y square by a square is equal to v, and hence dy will become a by 2 into v raised to minus half into dv. Similarly z square by a square, which is equal to w, dz will become, with this substitution, a by 2 w raised to minus half into dw. So with this substitution, sphere equation reduces to u plus v plus w less than or equal to 1, which is part of sphere enclosed in positive octant. So हमने डिरिचलेट थ्योरम की एक कंडीशन को मीट किया है, लेकिन ये पार्ट हमें स्पीयर का पॉजिटिव ऑक्टेंट का पार्ट सिर्फ दे रहा है. सो कंसिडरिंग 8 टाइम्स पॉजिटिव ऑक्टेंट फॉर स्पीयर, वी कैन राइट आवर ट्रिपल इंटीग्रेशन एज 8 into triple integration of a raised to 4 u into v, this term corresponding to x square y square we have noted, plus a raised to 4 v into w plus a raised to 4 v into w into a cube by 8 with respect to dx dy dz we are making the substitution, and hence we are getting a cube by 8 u raised to minus half v raised to minus half w raised to minus half into du dv dw. अब ब्रैकेट के बाहर जो टर्म है u v w रेस टू माइनस हाफ वाली, उस टर्म से ब्रैकेट के अंदर हम हर एक टर्म के साथ मल्टीप्लिकेशन लेने वाले हैं. सो वी आर गोइंग टू गेट 3 ट्रिपल इंटीग्रेशंस ओवर हियर, एंड नाउ ईच ऑफ दिस ट्रिपल इंटीग्रेशन is in terms of Dirichlet form. So hence Dirichlet theorem can be used here directly, as it is meeting with the condition u plus v plus w less than or equal to 1. So hence simplify and solve each of the integration in this. And for both of the methods, so whatever you are opting for, the evaluation will be unique, and hence the answer we are going to get as 4 a raised to 7 into pi upon 35. So try out this problem by both of the methods also, so that you can understand it well. And here we are concluding our discussion of triple integration. So as initially we discussed, triple integration is having variety of applications also. So application of triple integration to find out the volume will be our next part, so that we are going to deal in next lecture. Thank you all of you.